Can I get an amen from the lazy girls in the back? There's the big bite. So crunchy.
All the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history, find out what we can be together.
Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mindy and I have lost over 120 pounds using GLPs as a tool. And this week I wanted to go through kind of a weekly meal plan that was extremely fall inspired. We're going to ignore the fact that temperatures are still in the 90s here in Central Texas. I was feeling the fall vibes for some reason. So we're going to enjoy some fall inspired recipes this week that are all protein centered and balanced and lower in calories. So if that's something that interests you, please give this video a thumbs up and let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, then this probably won't make a whole lot of sense to you, but if you've seen the last several weeks of videos, it's been a very rough month for me. Just a whole lot of blech. So this week I was ready to submerge myself into some normalcy. I wanted to get into some meal planning and some cooking and to just distract myself with some healthy habits that have helped get me to over 120 pounds lost at this point. I'm going to go through a little bit of how I do meal planning. I'm just going to touch on a little bit of it. If you're interested in a deep dive into how I meal plan, I have this video here on my channel. Please feel free to check it out. Every week I do put together a meal plan, and I used to just scour Pinterest, recipe boards, Instagram, YouTube, all over the place. And to be honest with you, it used to take me anywhere between 2 to 4 hours to put together a meal plan. A lot of that is because obviously having a YouTube channel, I need to come up with new and unique recipe ideas all the time to share with you guys, which I'm grateful for because I very much enjoy variety in my diet. But it can get a little tedious. And about 2 years ago, I discovered through a channel that I love here on YouTube called The Wads. Kimberly Wadsworth puts out hilarious cooking, cleaning, shopping, mom content. I'm not a mom, well, I'm a dog mom. Her content is absolutely hilarious. And Helios? Oh, speaking of dog mom, my dog is currently trying to destroy my backyard. Please hold. Sorry, we had a case of the zoomies, which is no big deal when you have a 10 or 15 pound dog. But when you have a 115 pound Argentinian Mastiff and he gets the zoomies, he likes to body slam the building, like the actual building. Y'all think he's such an angel, and he is, but it's just every once in a while. Anyway, totally lost my train of thought. So anyway, about 2 years ago, I discovered through the Wads, Elise Ellis, who is the creator of macro-friendly food. And I've talked about macro-friendly food plenty of times on this channel. I even have this video here where I go through an in-depth tutorial of macro-friendly food, how to use it, and all that good stuff. Short story long, macro-friendly food is a recipe subscription database, recipes that are low calorie, high protein, balanced. Usually they're around a third of the calories are from protein, fat, and carbs. And I try to get about 30% of my calories from protein every day. If you're curious as to why you should even care about protein, I do have this video here where I talk about that. Sorry to be basically advertising my own channel, but you know, if you are new here, these are some great resources that'll give you some insight into what my diet looks like now and why I eat the way that I do. She has at this point, I think over 900 recipes on her site. And every month they email you PDF versions that you can print out and put into a cookbook or whatever They also have actual like printed cookbooks that you can order if you don't want to do a monthly subscription thing. And of course she has her Instagram, which has hundreds of recipes on it for free as well. I didn't originally dive into the subscription because I was like, am I even gonna like this? A lot of times when I tried high protein recipes in the past, they've been not my favorite. They weren't the best tasting. Like you could definitely tell that they were calorie friendly. And so I kind of got my feet wet cooking my way through some of her recipes on her Instagram. And the one that ultimately sold me on getting her subscription was the Monte Cristo French toast bake. I'll put the recipe link down in the description below, but once I made that one, I was absolutely sold, and I've been a subscriber ever since. The subscription cost, it varies. You can either do a monthly plan or you can do what I do, which is a 3-month plan. I pay every 3 months and averages out to only like $10 a month. And to me, it is more than worth that money because, for example, this week, pretty much all of the recipes, not pretty much, all of the recipes that I'm using are from Macro Friendly Food. It took me less than 30 minutes to put together a meal plan, and I know that every single one of those recipes are going to be absolutely delicious. For breakfast this week, that is one thing that I did not use a recipe for. And this is pretty much the breakfast that I've eaten through like 99% of my weight loss journey. For breakfast, I usually want something super simple unless I do something like an egg bake where I'm prepping ahead of time like a giant thing and then I just take out individual portions to warm up every morning. But my favorite breakfast has always been 2 fried eggs, 6 tots. I like the little crispy rounds from H-E-B, 2 Applegate chicken maple sausages, and then some sort of fruit with Oikos 000 vanilla yogurt. Depending on the type of fruit that I have, it's anywhere from 350 to 400 calories with close to 30 grams of protein. So that will keep me full for a very long time. It takes me less than 15 minutes to throw the entire breakfast together every morning. I highly recommend having some good breakfasts that you love that are quick and easy to throw together. If you're not a big fried egg person, do a scrambled egg. If you prefer a breakfast taco, get some of those high fiber, low carb wraps. The La Banderita ones are my favorite. There's also a fantastic one at Aldi. I think it's La Oven is their brand or whatever. I think that one might even be a little bit lower calorie and a little higher in fiber. For breakfast, I always eat the same thing all week long. It just makes it easier for me. Same thing with lunch. I only make one lunch, or I will not even make a lunch and I will just eat leftovers for lunch. This week though, because fall vibes, I was feeling soup, and that meant chicken and dumplings from Macro Friendly Food. And I think I've made this before on this channel, but it was a while ago. One of the really awesome things about Macro Friendly Food is that it has taught me a lot of techniques and ways of making higher calorie recipes more macro friendly that I can take into other things. And I've made my own and developed my own recipes using the things that I have learned from making her recipes over the last 2 years. The awesome part about this chicken and dumplings, it does not feel low calorie. It feels rich and comforting and warm and just absolutely delicious. And this recipe is supposed to make 6 servings, and those 6 servings are very generous. It's almost a pound of food per serving, but just because I wanted to make my life easier, I ended up just putting it into 5 servings instead because that's how many servings I needed for lunch. And even with it being that, an even bigger serving, so it's over a pound of food per lunch, it's still only 402 calories. So very, very calorie friendly. Yesterday, I went ahead and threw this together while I was doing some meal prep for the week to make my life a little bit easier. And this is how I threw it together. So first we're going to start with the 2-ingredient dough. I love using a Danish dough whisk for this. If you've never used one, I'll link it down in the description. But the awesome thing about a 2-ingredient dough, it's super flexible. You can use this for pizza crusts, obviously dumplings. I've made bagels with it, pretzels. You can use it for pretty much anything. And basically we're just going to do it's supposed to be 2-ingredient dough. So you use self-rising flour. I just make my own, combining flour, salt, baking soda, baking powder. And then you're going to use some plain non-fat Greek yogurt. And then basically you're just going to stir it up with that dough whisk, with your hand, using a mixer, however you prefer to put it together, and until it becomes like a shaggy dough like what you're seeing there. And then there's nothing for it. You just have to get in with your hands and press it together. I'm not kneading it so much as just getting the dough into a cohesive ball until there's no flour left in the bowl. And then I'm just gonna let it sit while I throw together the soup. Okay, if you're afraid of fat, avert your eyes. There is real butter in this recipe. And yes, I know that pan was a little bit too hot. Little brown butter never hurt nobody. As long as you don't burn it, it's fine. It actually added a really nice flavor to the soup. And then we're gonna add in our aromatics, some onion, carrots, celery, and I'm gonna sprinkle in salt, pepper, and a little bit of thyme. Let that get good and soft, and then we're gonna add our garlic, let it go for about 30 seconds so that it's nice and fragrant. And we're gonna add in our flour and stir that around to cook off the raw flour taste for a roux. This is where you would use chicken broth, but I always use water and better than bouillon. You're just gonna put it in a little bit at a time, scrape the bottom of the pan to get off all that brown goodness, stir it up until the water is completely absorbed by that roux, and then add a little bit more. Then we're gonna add our fat-free condensed milk, not condensed milk, evaporated milk. That's gonna make it good and creamy. You're gonna add a pound of cooked chicken. I just used rotisserie, and there I'm plopping in my better than bouillon. And then we're just gonna plop in those dumplings. I just rolled them up into little tiny balls. I did 35 of them so that I would have 7 for each bowl. Pop on the lid, let it cook for 20 minutes until it's thick and rich and creamy and delicious. And then I started by putting 7 dumplings into each container, and then I just put about the same amount of soup in each one. And I'm going to enjoy those throughout the week.
You're so good at doing the dishes, bud. Is it clean? I think it's clean, bud. I could practically put that back in the cupboard. But I won't. Look at all that drool on the floor. I love you, buddy. You're a good boy.
So good. I have already had that before multiple times. It is a family favorite. My husband loves those chicken and dumplings. I have a recipe for my grandmother's chicken and dumplings that I've made for decades that I've actually made on this channel as well. I'll go ahead and link that video here for you guys if you're interested in checking it out. But obviously it's a little higher calorie. It's just kind of a different vibe altogether. But I love this macro-friendly food version of chicken and dumplings just as much as I love my grandma's. It's just, what kind of chicken and dumplings am I in the mood for? I'm gonna go get ready for the day so that I can go to work this afternoon, and then I will see you guys back later tonight for the first of 2 dinners that I will make this week. Well, hello. I just got home from work and I'm getting ready to start making dinner. I do 1 breakfast every week, 1 lunch every week, and then we make 2 dinners that we alternate every other day. So dinner 1's on Monday, dinner 2 is on Tuesday, dinner 3 is on Wednesday, dinner 1 is on Thursday, dinner 2 is on, look, you get it. I make enough because it's just me and my husband at home. I don't have any kids. So I make enough, usually most of the recipes make enough for 6 portions, 6 to 8. And it's enough for us to eat it for 3 meals throughout the week. We don't mind eating leftovers a couple of times. So there you go. Sometimes we'll only eat it for 2 dinners and then I'll eat the rest of the leftovers for lunches other days. So it just works out. I wouldn't mind having more variety than that during the week, but it's far more important to me to not be cooking dinner every day than it is for me to have a different dinner every day. Can I get an amen from the lazy girls in the back? Anyway, while I can't share this exact recipe with you because this is one of the ones that's only for subscribers, I can share you her chicken fettuccine Alfredo that she has posted on her Instagram. And basically It's the same sauce, it's just on tortellini instead of on fettuccine. So the hero of this recipe that allows you to have super creamy, thick, rich, and delicious Alfredo sauce without killing the calorie count and giving you tons of protein instead is cottage cheese. Now, if you're not a huge fan of cottage cheese and you've never tried blending it into a sauce, I highly recommend giving it a try because you cannot tell that there is cottage cheese in there. Like, it just makes it cheesy and thick and rich and like there's cream in there, but there's not. So we're just gonna take all the ingredients for the sauce, throw them in a container. I'm gonna use my immersion blender. You can throw them in a blender, throw them in a food processor. If you don't care about the curds, you don't have to blend it at all, but then it will be much less Alfredo-y. So let's go throw this together. I already have my water heating up to cook my tortellini, and we're gonna give it a try. Super easy recipe. Everything goes in a bowl, you blend it. Cottage cheese, milk. I used high protein skim milk, all the seasonings, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and yeah, don't do what I just did. And cornstarch, and then some Parmesan cheese. And basically you just blend it until it's as smooth as you want it to be. Add it to a pan. I just used the same pan that I cooked my tortellini in. Add in a pound of cooked chicken, and then let that heat up until it's good and thick and hot. Like, you don't want it to boil. That's one thing, it will separate. So, and then just add in your pasta, stir it up, and you're done. Super quick and easy. Wow, that's a lot of sauce. I feel like there should be like twice the amount of tortellini. This is what we're working with. 11 ounces of pasta, chicken, and sauce. It is very saucy. In my opinion, it needed more tortellini for the amount of sauce that was in there. So this is more like a chicken tortellini Alfredo soup almost. I mean, I'm sure that it'll thicken up like as it sits, like to eat for leftovers and stuff like that, but it's real saucy. I'm not mad about it, but it is a lot of sauce. Somebody did say that in the comments that, you know, super fantastic flavor, but way too much sauce for the amount of pasta. So I'm gonna give this a taste. Yum. I probably should have let it cook a little longer. The sauce I don't think was quite hot enough, but I was hungry and I was getting impatient. Sure enough, there is no vestige of like remaining curds, no graininess, nothing. It's smooth, it's thick, it's cheesy, and it's delicious. Garlicky. For personal tastes, I probably wouldn't put the pepper in it, but it's real good. It's real good, guys. I don't know how to tell you. Give it a try. I'll see you guys back tomorrow for our second dinner of the day.
Well, hello.
And happy Tuesday. It's dinner time. And tonight I'm doing, surprise, another macro-friendly food recipe. This one has been a favorite of mine for over a year. I believe it's one of her Cheesecake Factory copycats. It's the Southwest green salad. And I always use this. It's meant as a side salad, but I always use it as a base for a main dish salad. It serves 6 as a side salad, but I'm doubling the recipe to make it 3 servings. And then I'm gonna add some taco meat, just some plain old white people taco night taco meat with McCormick taco seasoning, just nothing exciting, 93% lean ground beef, it's fine. You can use rotisserie chicken, you can do cooked chicken breast, you can add whatever kind of meat you want to this. It's really simple. Now, this is another one of those that's a subscriber only recipe, so I can't share the recipe, but really the only recipe is the dressing. And I have this video right here where I show you guys my favorite avocado cilantro dressing of sorts, and you could easily substitute that in. It's just gonna have a little bit more calories, but this is a simple dinner. You don't have to do this as a taco salad. You could just do tacos instead, but this is gonna be a delicious salad. I already prepped all of the veggies, so for the rest of the week, it's literally just gonna be chop up some lettuce, chop up some green onion, throw it all in a bowl, pour some dressing on it, shove it in my face. So, without any further ados, let's go put together this salad. Okay, so in here I have some sliced up romaine lettuce. I like to shred mine up really fine so that I can eat my salad with a giant spoon instead of a fork, because it just makes my life easier. And we're gonna do, and obviously you can do whatever toppings you want, but I'm gonna do some black beans, some corn, avocado. It's an avocado. Thanks. And I did salt my avocado because that's necessary. And then I also salted my tomatoes, some delicious green onion, a big ol' honking scoop of taco meat. I'm probably gonna do a couple big ol' honking scoops of taco meat. About 3 to 4 ounces is what you want. Kicking myself for not saving some of that green onion to put on top. Don't worry, I'll fix that. Some of this cilantro lime vinaigrette on top. Yum! Ooh, that's tangy. And this is delicious. I'll show you closer over there. Come on, let's go. That's my salad and it's gonna be delicious. Yeah! Alright, so I need more dressing than that. I just didn't, I wanted to get a pretty shot before I put all the dressing on it. This is a much lighter, more vinaigrette-y dressing than the other avocado, like creamy avocado cilantro dressing that I mentioned. So it's a little bit lighter. Also, I mean, if you don't want to make a dressing, I will often, for taco salads like this, just use some store-bought salsa. Like picante sauce or whatever kind of salsa you like. Just use that instead and it'll moisten it up just fine. So this is what I mean by big spoon. It's the best salad eating implement. There's the big bite. This giant bowl of salad is approximately 450 calories with a whole lot of protein. I am probably going to add some Quest protein chips because a little bit of salty, crunchy, happy sounds real good for this. You could also get like some tortilla strips or pepitas, like roasted pepitas would be really good. It just needs a little salty crunch. I'm gonna eat it and it's gonna be delicious. See you later for dessert. Hello. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're doing a lot of time traveling in this video. It's Sunday and I'm getting ready to throw together my dessert for the week. If there's one thing that I know about myself, it's that I have a massive sweet tooth. So just having like a square of dark chocolate at the end of the night, like some of the diet gurus out there tell you to do, that's not enough for me. So I knew for me to be successful on this weight loss journey from the beginning, that I would have to plan to have some sort of sweet treat at the end of each night, at least during the weekdays when I'm not going out to eat, where I could have something that was more calorie friendly, but that would make me feel like I was eating something of substance so that I didn't just fall in face first into a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Since I started focusing more on protein, that has kind of taken on the face of a lot of protein baked goods. You know, cookies, banana bread, any number of things. Protein Fluff has been a channel favorite for a very, very long time. I will include that video here for you guys if you've never seen it before, but I always have that recipe down in the description below my videos because it's so popular. But this week, since we're going fall vibes, I needed to have a pumpkin dessert. And Macro Friendly Food has a pumpkin protein streusel muffin that I have been eyeballing for over a year, and this felt like the perfect week to do that. So let's go throw this together so that I can have these to munch on all week long.
Hey Mindy, is that the same bowl you used in the last recipe?
Why, yes it is. I'm so glad you asked. And it looks like you haven't washed it. Right again, my friend. Because why wash it twice when I could just wash it once? Sorry, y'all. Apparently I had my sassy pants on Sunday. So we started with some applesauce, some sugar substitute. I get that one from Costco. It's just like a monk fruit erythritol blend, a can of pumpkin, some non-fat Greek yogurt, some milk, and then that's just some vanilla. Nifty tip, if you didn't know, the cap of your vanilla is usually about a teaspoon. And then the recipe calls for a ridiculous amount of pumpkin pie spice. I am not a fan of pumpkin pie spice. I hate clove. Not a big fan of allspice either. So I just grated my own fresh nutmeg. I added some cinnamon, stirred that up, gave it a little taste, decided it needed more cinnamon, and I added in a little bit of dried ginger. And that was perfect for me. And we're going to do the dry ingredients, some baking powder, soda, salt situation, sift that up to get out the lumps, some flour. This is my favorite protein powder for baking, PE Science Vanilla. We're going to add that in. Again, I will have all these recipes linked down in the description below. And then I'm going to try to whisk this in way too small of a bowl. It's fine. Should I have picked a bigger bowl? Probably. Am I gonna now? No. Then we're just gonna add those dry ingredients to the wet ingredients and fold them in carefully. And then I realized that, sure enough, her recipes are developed using whey, and that whey casein blend was a little too dry. So I started kind of adding milk a little bit by a little bit, just until the texture looked a little bit better to me. And you know, it's fine. I have a muffin scoop somewhere. I'm looking for it for 10 minutes. No idea where it is, so we're just gonna do our best. Now the recipe calls for 12 regular size muffins. I did 6 jumbo muffins, which I'll talk about later. But now I'm just mixing up that streusel. It's just light butter, flour, brown sugar, and I think the recipe doesn't call for salt, but I added a little because I think it helps. And then you're just gonna add in a tiny bit of water and just mix it up until it looks like it's a little clumpy. And then you're just gonna sprinkle that onto the top of each muffin, stick it in an oven, and bake it till they're done. You can see they're nice and firm, a little bit of browning around the edges. And when you put a toothpick in, it comes out with a few little moist crumbs on there. I'm gonna let those cool completely, and then I will put them in a container. And I may eat one of these today because I only need 4 or 5 of them for this week. Because yum! Look how beautiful she is. That streusel topping is crunchy. I'm gonna cut it down the middle the way a muffin should be cut down the middle, which is literally straight down the middle, so that each piece has some of that crunchy streusel topping. So crunchy. You know what? It might not be cooked all the way. Here's why I say that. You can see there's like this dough down here at the bottom. Like, it's cooked and there's no eggs in it, so even if it wasn't cooked, it wouldn't matter. But it's probably gonna be a little dense down at the bottom. I'm okay with that because I'm gonna be warming these up to eat them throughout the week. And I don't want them to be too dry. If you've ever made protein baked goods, like, you know, they can dry out like really easily, and it's just not, it's not delicious. I'm using some light butter, not the least of which because it's spreadable straight out the container. I don't know. All I've had to eat so far today is a breakfast taco, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I am very excited for this little treat. Let's have a bite, shall we? It tastes like Thanksgiving. It's like a pumpkin cake. You could easily make a frosting for that out of a little bit of the Dannon Light and Fit vanilla Greek yogurt. You could also do the Oikos 000. It's just the Dannon Light and Fit is a little sweeter. So it's already kind of more frosting like, and it tastes kind of like cream cheese frosting. You could add a little bit of protein powder to it to make the texture more frosting like, but you probably wouldn't need to. Like, you could just eat it with some yogurt. And I may very well eat these with some yogurt this week. I don't know. They are slightly underbaked. I'm sure Paul Hollywood would be appalled, but you know what? Paul Hollywood ain't eating them. I am, and I think they're delicious. I hope you try that. Hi guys, it's Monday night, and I'm eating my muffin, which is delicious, but the texture is still real close. I would not recommend doing this in the jumbo muffins like I did. I would just do the 12 regular muffins and eat 2 of them. I just think that, like, even though I lowered the temperature and cooked it for longer, like, it didn't work out the way that it normally would with normal baking. Like, protein baking is so finicky with how it comes together. I do really like the flavor of this. I also used a whey casein blend for my protein, and I know that most of her recipes are formulated using just whey. And even though I have a whey protein that I like, which is the Premier Protein, I don't like it nearly as much as my PE Science, so that's why I kind of wanted to try it. I'm actually curious. There's a protein banana bread recipe that Cheat Day Design makes that I absolutely love, and I'm tempted to just replace the banana with pumpkin and see if that would be as delicious as I think it would be. I'm tempted. Stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed all of these recipes and that this showed you that meal planning for weight loss does not have to be complicated. You don't have to plan different meals for every single meal time. You can do a few repeats and have enough variety that you don't feel like you're just eating the same 3 meals over and over and over again. Most of all, make sure that you're incorporating the things that you know are going to keep you satisfied and happy and satiated so that you don't feel like you're on a diet. That's the most important thing. A lot of the health creators that I follow a similar mantra, which is, what can I add to, not subtract? So if you're really craving something like ice cream or a cookie or something like that, don't say to yourself, those foods are bad, I can't have them. Go ahead and enjoy them, but try to find a way to incorporate some other things with that to keep yourself full and satiated so that you're not just eating 50 cookies. You know, maybe have 4 or 5 and then incorporate some high protein yogurt with them or some granola for some fiber that will help to keep you satiated. There are definitely lots of creators that help to encourage that type of a mindset, which definitely puts me in a much better headspace as someone that struggled with binge eating and things like that, not only in the past, but intermittently throughout this journey as well. If you guys are interested in checking out macro-friendly food, I have a link down in my description. I loved their recipe service so much that I became an affiliate so that I would have a discount code to share with you guys. That'll get you 10% off your first purchase, whether it's your first month, your first cookbook, whatever it is that you decide to purchase on your first purchase, you'll get 10% off. If you're already a macro-friendly food subscriber and you've been enjoying their recipes, please let me know down in the comments what some of your favorite recipes are so that people who are new or who are existing subscribers can have some suggestions about the recipes that you've been loving from their site as well. That's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, say hi to me down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better